Welcome everyone to another episode of Bigbird MMA podcast. I'm your host BigSteve. Episode 75, special edition, Road to UFC Shanghai. All four cards or all two cards, whatever you want to call it. No UFC, but yeah, it doesn't mean there's no betting. I have a special guest on, Bigbird, pardon me, or Peace. People can go by Peace. How are you, mate?
Doing good. I apologize for the loud music in the back, but I'll make sure to talk loud enough for all y'all to hear me. Ready for some fun fights this weekend.
That's cool, man. That's cool. I appreciate you jumping in. For all of you that don't know, Bigbird is, or I'll just call you Peace, man, if you don't mind. Peace is in the Big Brain Discord, and he asked me to jump on and do this. So I was like, why not? I've got a grand total of 0 bets, and he's got like 10 or more, so it would have been much more interesting. I think we're going to go a bit of back and forth and whatnot. So yeah, looking forward to it. We've got a lot of comments in here. What do we got? Herb Dean, Gold Standard, a legend, and Steve breaking down a bunch of guys I've never heard of course, should be good. Brendan Levis, I had a feeling you'd be in here, mate, even though you blocked me. BigSteve late as usual. BigSteve's dad, hey dad, maybe put some pants on. Yeah, live my ass. Samit Kumar, Olympic background. We've got a lot of comments. Brendan Levis, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, all a bunch of rubbish. All right, I'll do my little quick overview because I won't be doing another podcast for the week, so there'll be no other time to do an overview. I'll try to keep it quick. Essentially, Urbina and Ferreira, the best bets they hit for about 2,000. I had half a unit on Urbina, low level, and I had a full unit on Ferreira. Plate doesn't go as well to hedge myself a little bit. 1,000 to win 500. MJ, round 1 KO, only because I thought that was his best path, $100. Started with a stupid bet on Sata, $300 live bet. Right before he got dropped, that was retarded. Can't help but laugh about it. Had Silva KO. Didn't think it would be that easy. Had Silva in a same game parlay for $1,000. Start round 2. As soon as I put that in, I thought I was going to lose. I couldn't sleep over it. So yeah, first punch he landed, I knew it was over. Plus when I saw Kevin Hatley in there, the guy loves to stop fights ASAP. Had a 2,000. I was down after those 2 fights. Put $2,000 on Chase Hooper. Won that for $1,000. $2,000 on Nascimento. Cashed out round 2. He was just flaking on me for like half a profit, 400 profit. So I was in profit, and then Urbina hit, Ferreira hit, doesn't go hit. Was up over $3,000. Had a little bit of Edmund, hedged with Fluffy, and rounds 2 and 3. Only ended up with a tiny bit of profit because I didn't get a chance to cash out Edmund for profit after round 1. And then hit Hill, Dern, one takedown for $600. Essentially 3,800. Very happy with that. Another low-level card. Can't complain. Let's move on. So we've got a lot of fights, man. We've got a lot of hard-to-pronounce names, a lot of low-level, a lot of lack of tape. So, yeah, man. Let's see what we can do. We'll get straight into it. So the first fight, we got Topnoy Kivram versus N. Tumanda Barrel. I don't want to pronounce his first name. I feel like, you should go first, man. I think you have something locked in here, so I'll let you go first on this fight.
Yeah, so I know the line's kind of gotten out of hand for the Topnoy side, but I got an early Topnoy number at plus 134. I played that for 2 units. So essentially, I mean, it's at like minus 155 right now. That's trending more towards accurate. But essentially, it's like Tumen Dimbrel. He's very like untested. I know he's fighting a lot of people on like, I think it's the Mongolian regional scene. And it's just hard to really gauge how good he is because he's getting taken. I wouldn't say taken down. He's just having like awkward scrambling moments with low-level people. And it's like, to beat Topnoy, you need to be a good grappler. And it's like, I don't know if I can trust this Tumen Dimbrel guy to be taking Topnoy down consistently. And if you're giving me a stand-up fight with Topnoy, who trains at Bangtao Muay Thai, is training with George Hickman, they're essentially butt buddies. So I mean, I feel like this is a setup fight for Topnoy to shine in the showcase bout, and I like him for the first fight of the tournament. Well, he's not in the tournament, but I like him for the first fight of the road to UFCs.
Is this not like a tournament fight?
No, so they have one showcase fight for each card, and this is the showcase fight.
Oh, interesting. Well, there you go. You learn something new every day. I don't know, man. I feel like this kid's got potential. You know, the Mongolian, but then it's kind of like the same story as a lot of these fights. You know, he's beating nobodies, and then you don't know how good he really is, and then he shows up on road and he ends up being really good. It's just a lot of question marks. I've been going back and forth. You know, Topnoy, like, he is very solid. Fighting the who's who. You know, he he got rear naked choked by Park. Park's good. I mean, beat Yuma. It's a bit overrated, but he's still an LFA title challenger. Fought Kara Sakura, which is impressive. Lost to Nakamura and Ryzen. Yeah, like you said, he does have bad takedown defense, but his submission defense is not the worst. Hirouchi had his back twice, and he fought a Brazilian jiu-jitsu dude in UA Warriors and survived a bunch of attempts. He kind of just stands up and gives his neck and back and still survives. So, yeah, I've been going back and forth. If it's a striking fight, obviously Topno would have a advantage possibly, but this Mongolian man, he seems like he's like an absolute truck. Plus, he also has 3 different submissions on his record, so that alone makes me want to, fade Topno. But then again, I think it's pick 'em now, right? So it's a fight that I don't really want any.
So it's actually minus 155 for Topno. I would not play that. That's probably trending towards more accurate, or essentially there might be value on Tumen Dimbro at this price, but the only issue with Topno is he does play with his food a lot, so I do worry that he might be looking good, and then all of a sudden he gives up like a takedown, and the next thing you know, he's getting submitted.
Yeah, he's not really trustworthy, man. Especially at the minus price. Yeah. What's Brandon Oliva saying? Nice, BigSteve afraid of a close fight. What does Brandon Oliva know about gambling, dude? Seriously. All right, next fight. Also, if you have any props that you like, man, let me know. I was going to open Bet Online and have a look at props, but I don't know, I just can't be bothered. Otherwise, this is going to take way too long. I thought about maybe the Tumenda Barrel by sub or by KO. But yeah, Topno seems durable too, so yeah, pass fight. Alrighty, I'll do the next one. Ray Turaya versus Ronald Sihan. Man, this line is redonkulous. I guess this kid is got some sort of hype in terms of, I think he's got wrestling background and has to have a jiu-jitsu background too, because his control, not his control, like a lot of these bums that he's fighting, they tend to stand up a few times, and he's very cocky. He's very lackadaisical in there. He goes for a takedown, they stand back up. He's just showboating, goes for it again, but eventually just finishes him. But yeah, last guy 8-3, probably the best guy he's beat. And he really choked him as well. Yeah, everything's been steamed here. I know you have a decent play here. Plus money, one of the props. I didn't get a chance to play it. If anything, man, maybe I would even hit this dog. The dog is definitely, he's on the Indonesian regional scene, and it's a bit how you going. But I mean, it's definitely dog or pass. If anything, he's got some KOs. Maybe he can get a finish. He's definitely the more physical dude. But yeah, this might get $100 out of me, even if he loses via sub. What about you, man?
Yeah, I know you might be tempted by the number, but I don't see how Ray Suraya loses this fight. I mean, the kid's young. He's like 22 years old, and I'm getting Rinya Nakamura vibes from him. I feel like he's going to be the young kid coming in from Pancreas, or he's the champion there. He's going to come in, and I feel like this is just a tailor-made matchup for Ray, and I actually got the plus 150 submission on like Monday or Tuesday. It's like minus 250 right now. So the value is all gone from that. But honestly, I really don't know what scope of the fight a Ronell win would even look like, because it's hard not to imagine just Ray gets quick takedown. Kid's jiu-jitsu, I mean, I know he's like can be a little wild at times, but Ronell is fighting bums on One Pride fighting championship. I don't think he's going to be able to hang with Ray on the mat.
Yeah, I mean, they're both fighting bums. That's the gist of it, really. All these Indonesians are just kind of surprisingly athletic. The big dogs usually cash on the road. But yeah, if you have plus money on the sub, that's a really nice line, man. It's like fucking minus 200 now. I hate to tell you, man, there's every single bet you make, Brendan or Levi saying it's a great bet, so you might be in for a reverse sweep. Hopefully not. All right, next fight. Zai. Oh, here we go. Uziaz Bieke Jaifu. Rightio, I don't know what to say about this fight. I mean, Zai got extremely close to being in the UFC. He's beat Sasu in 1 round, who was in the main event before. He is probably one of the favorites. And he's fighting this guy that 2 of the fights that I could find, he was finished in both of them, like back in 2016. And then I did my own due diligence, because tape index is horrendous. If he keeps getting this bad, I'll just pay my boy, what's his name? Lock of the night. I'm going to pay for his tape index because the tape index is horrendous. They're going to lose my business. Yeah, I found some of his other fights, and he's just a grappler, wrestler, and he's been, finished a lot of the time. Yeah, he's just. What do you want to play? Do you want to play Zar via finish or Zar via decision? Yeah, that's all you can play because the line's a bit out of whack here. Do you have anything here, Matt?
So me and Brandon are probably the first Yazi fans, or Yiza. We have wet dreams about Yiza. Back in when he made his Road to UFC debut versus Sasu, we cashed on him as a big plus 250 underdog. So he's close to my heart, Za Yi, and I honestly think he's really talented. He's probably going to win the whole featherweight tournament, but like you said, it's minus 800 right now, and it's like you were saying as well. I couldn't find much tape on Jai Hefu. And I mean, you can tell from watching the tape, the dude's really talented. He's got a relentless grappling game. So I guess he gets the submission, but at the end of the day, it's minus 800. And when is Yiza really covered a minus 800 price tag? And,
Exactly,
he's going to win. He's going to win, but it's like, there's only so much you can do with the minus 800. In the ITDs, choose too. It's like minus 250 or minus 300 for ITD.
I wouldn't even trust that, man. I don't think he's that much of a finishing demon. Yeah, let's move on. I'm going to take this one away as well, man. Mark Climaco, John Hyun Lee, just because there's not much tape on Lee. He seems like a, promising kid. What is he, like 21 years old or 22 or 20? And, he's got some, some knockdowns and whatnot, and then the rest of decisions. But the level of competition, man, is horrendous. It's one of those ones, I'm sure Mark Climaco is going to be a parlay piece, but there's something stopping me. I know just, exactly how good Mark is. He just dominated, Sansong, who I rate really high. They beat Cody Davis, who I rate quite highly as well. He has been knocked out by, Horiuchi. So I kind of, every time I tape him for those fights, I had my questions about his shin. But yeah, there's something that I can't. That's stopping me from, parlaying Climaco and whatnot. This could be a showcase, but yeah. I don't know how you feel about this one.
So I did see some love earlier this week on Lee. I mean, the kid's young, but it's like at the end of the day, we don't really know what we're getting out of him. I forget what the fighter's name was, but in his last fight, I mean, he showed some good striking, but we saw in like the very last minute of the fight, he did get taken down pretty effortlessly. Didn't really show any work to get back up, but the ref stood him up almost like immediately. But when you watch Climaco, I mean, the kid's really talented. I'm honestly a bit surprised he didn't get the Contender Series or just a call straight to the UFC. I feel like he should win here with the grappling. I mean, Climaco can chain wrestling takedowns for the whole fight. His striking can be a little bit low volume at times. I mean, we did see him get chinned by Yuma. But, I mean, at the end of the day, we don't know what Lee's grappling looks like. But it's hard not to see Climaco just hit takedowns at will and just really put the pace on Lee, because I don't think he's seen a wrestler like Climaco in his career.
Yeah, can't disagree, man. Can't disagree with you there. All right, man. Go.
Actually, I can look it up real quick. I was thinking about a flyer on Climaco by submission. It opened plus 400. It's plus 275 right now. I don't know how much value is on that, but that could be a sneaky way to attack the fight, especially if Lee's not a good grappler.
Yeah, my only problem is, Climaco's a bit of a decision machine too. But he's fighting decent guys, so yeah. Some of these cards are going to get more, and these fights are going to get more of my attention as they go on. The first two cards, I'll look into it a little bit more in detail, and then when they're over, I'm just going to focus my attention and start retaping the second two cards again. This was kind of just like the original tape. All right, main event: Kazuki Sasu coming back and Songwon Kim. Do you want to take this one away, mate?
Yeah, I actually placed a bet on this fight earlier today. I played for a unit. I played Songwon Kim at plus 230. I think some money's came in on him, but essentially my take on Sasu is he might hit takedowns this fight, but we saw in Songwon Kim's last fight against Haraguchi, who we're going to talk about later today, he was able to get up like 10 times, and then Haraguchi was able to break him. But if anybody watched Haraguchi tape, losing to him and getting taken down is not that big of a deal. My only issue with Sasu is he could hit takedowns. I mean, I've seen him hit some nice judo tosses, but he really struggles to control dudes down. And it's like, if Won Kim makes him work, I mean, on the feet, I feel like Sasu could have some moments. Maybe it's close, but at the end of the day, I just think it's going to be a close, thin margin decision. And you got one of the guys who's minus like 300, minus 275, and the other dude's like plus 200. So I did take a flyer on Won Kim. I also did play his submission prop at plus 800. He has like a grappling background.
Cool. Yeah, I think I'm going to be on your side, man. I don't really know why Sasu is such a big favorite. He seems to be favored quite a lot. He seems to he's hittable. He pulls guard a lot. He seems to be a bit like not very present. Slow starter. Zar just ran through him. Laura Sanko was kind of using it as an excuse as he never got started. Yeah, I don't know. He just has a lot of holes for someone that should be such a massive favorite. Kim. I was never that impressed with Kim either. But he's just like that last fight, Hariguchi. I was like, damn, that's a red flag. Who's this 3-0 guy that just ran through him? And I looked at him and I was like, oh, this guy's got a medal. He's got a gold medal in his topology picture. I'm like, man, what is this, a wrestler? Some sort of Olympic wrestler or some shit? And believe it or not, there's one fight I didn't tape on this whole 4 cards, and it's the Hiroyuchi fight. But at least I guess I taped that fight, so I'm like, cool. So at least I know what he brings to the table. But yeah, I mean, I haven't taken the dog shot yet. I'm surprised the line hasn't come in. I just feel like Kim. Who did he beat? G-Bum Moon is a decent fighter, and he beat him with a rear naked choke. It's just a hard fight to get a read on, but there's got to be some value. So I agree with you there, man. I mean, I can just see Sasu pulling guard, pulling guillotines, pulling triangles, maybe getting his own takedowns. Like you said, Kim's going to get up. Yeah, dog will pass for me.
Yeah, I'll also add, I don't know what it's at now, but the fight goes to decision actually caught my attention here in this fight. I mean, both dudes are very low volume on the feet. I wouldn't consider either like a big-time finisher. I did say I played the submission prop on Won Kim, mainly because it was like a big number. It's like 800, so I could honestly see a club and sub where he gets the back. I mean, I did see in a couple of his fights, I think it was like double GFC, they would announce him as a grappler. So his grappling's not the worst either. So maybe he gets drops Sasu and finds a submission like Izad did. But yeah, the values on Won Kim. I mean, the lines came in a little bit. I believe he opened like plus 350 or so. Yeah, he opened plus 350. He's plus 190 right now. So it looks like money's coming in on Kim. But yeah, I think he's clearly deciding. There's no way Sasu's taking my money at minus 275.
Yeah, 100%, man. I agree with you there. Alrighty. We got like 20 minutes. 20 minutes for the first card. Oh, 17, not bad at all. Let's just let's go to the next card. Share this tab instead. Cool, let's go. What's your mate Brandon saying? Let's keep our relationship to YouTube. Yeah, maybe. Best, maybe. I don't agree with any of those comments. All right. First fight of the second card. Let me just get my shit together. Do you want to take this one away, man? Toliaraki and Nareju versus Hansol Kim.
Yeah, but I will say, what's the little heated beef between you and Brandon? Seems like y'all got a love-hate relationship going on.
Oh, I don't mind the guy. He just keeps blocking me from everywhere, and he won't give me an excuse. And then, it's just weird. But he comes and listens to my videos. It's cool, I guess.
Yeah, I think he's a little worried you might steal his girl, so gotta keep him off his phone.
No, yeah, maybe.
No, but I will say I did also have a bet on this fight. I played Nuraji. I think that's how you say it. I played him at minus 105. Played him for 2 units. So I mean, essentially, Hansol Kim. I mean, he's a decent striker, but he comes off as like very one-dimensional. He will just play from the southpaw stance, very low volume in my opinion. And I mean, he likes that left hand. But the thing is with Niraji, he's like 22, 21 years old. He's very young. He is training at the UFC PI in Shanghai. And I like this kid's game. I feel like he can be a bit reckless. I mean, both these dudes are reckless. I wrote in my notes that Kim's a bad KO waiting to happen. And I honestly feel like Niraji could be in the same category as well. But at least I've seen him, Niraji, take some shots. He seems pretty durable. But one thing I will say is the clinch knees up the middle, I feel like are going to be big here for Niraji. If he can get into the clinch and work his knees, I feel like Sol Kim might get knocked out. I mean, it's a very volatile fight, but At the end of the day, I'll bet the younger kid who's making more improvements. And I read on an Instagram post that I translated it from Kazakhstan account. They were saying that if Niraji has a good performance, that they're looking to sign him straight to the UFC, as this is another showcase fight. So that's good to hear. I do feel like he's the side being set up here.
That's interesting. Did you find any fights other than two for Niraji?
Yeah, I could try to find the links and maybe send them to you, but I had to go on like some Chinese TikTok or like some, I forget what the app was called, but had to like translate his name. But yeah, I think it was his last fight. He swings very wild, but the kid's green, and I feel like he's getting better. I mean, I even saw him hit some grappling in some of his fights. He's got a nice double leg takedown, and he was resistant to hit takedowns, which could be a path here. But yeah, I feel like he has all the upside in this fight to look like a hindsight big favorite versus Sol Kim, who might win like a close decision.
Yeah, I can't disagree with some of the stuff you're saying. I do agree that both these dudes are hittable. I mean, I could only find two fights of the guy that you bet, and yeah, I get it. He's 20 years old. He's quite fluid. He seems to be more fluid than Kim. Kim's got decent boxing himself. They're both southpaws. I like Kim's countering. He can fight on the back foot. He's got some slips and rips, pull counters. He's got decent power. He has been rocked multiple times. I saw it on the regional scene, and then he got rocked by that Adajar guy on the road to UFC in his first showcase fight. But then he dropped him back, and he's definitely fought the high level of competition. He knocked out Frank Camacho in the first round, 2016. Sato, he's fought a bunch of people, whereas the Chinese dude, Niraji, is just the bottom of the barrel. Chinese bums. Other than the guy that knocked him out with a liver kick, was 28-7. That's the fight that I can't find. I'm sure I'll find it if I look into it. Yeah, he's 38-2, so that's a good fight. 32-8, pardon me. So yeah, it's just a bit of a level jump. But yeah, the kid looks good. He looks confident. He looks fluid. I don't like how hittable Kim is. I was surprised by the line though. I was, after taping, I'm like, all right, Kim's going to be a massive favorite. Seeing the level of competition, and already having fought on Road FC and won in round one, and this other kid, low level competition. Usually it's pretty standard. We're trying to guess the line, and they'll be pretty accurate. But yeah, this kid's a favorite on Bet365 as well, which surprised me. So yeah, maybe that one is one that might get my money, but Kim's barely an underdog.
So I will say Kim actually opened like minus 250, minus 300. Yeah, he opened minus 286, and money's just been pouring in on Niraji. I honestly think Niraji just should be the slight favorite, just on the fact that I feel like he's more scrappy personally, and if him and Kim are going to throw down in the pocket, I'll take the younger kid who's shown better durability. But I wouldn't say Kim shows bad durability. He just seems like he's a little bit more fragile than Niraji.
He's a bit more stiff, but then again, yeah, he's stiff and his head's there to be cracked. But then he's also he's fighting better guys. He's fighting 7-1 dudes, 6-1 dudes, people that actually can crack him. Whereas, yeah, this is just fighting short, chubby dudes in China's regional. But yeah, it's a good fight. Alrighty, let's move on. Juno Shuya, the man with one name, versus Billy Pasulatan, Bruce Lee. This one here, this is the first fight I taped. I could only find one fight from Juno Shuya. Someone on Sherdog had a discussion that they were playing Billy as their first play as a dog. I told them, did you know that Billy is a strawweight? I didn't know they make guys that small. I guess Brandon Olivas is in his weight class. And Juno Shuya used to fight at bantamweight. He's got quite a lot of fights at bantamweight. So this guy's moving up from strawweight up to flyweight, and Juno Shuya is meeting him down in flyweight as well. But yeah, not many fights. Juno Shuya, also a really low level Chinese regional scene. The best guy he fought was Zhi Fazhang, who was on Contender Series. Really probably one of the pioneers of Chinese MMA. Just wrestled him. Someone showed me that fight on the guy that was playing Billy. Showed me the fight on Sherdog with Zifa, and I was going to watch it, and then the owner deleted it. So someone's hiding something, mate. Someone's keeping this fight on the down low. But yeah, I mean, Junoshuya seems more technical. He's patient. He's got crisper hands. He mixes in takedowns. And Billy on the other side, a lot more explosive. A lot of these Indonesian guys are quite explosive, athletic. Moving up, wants to take down as well. A lot more reckless with his ground game. Gets reversed, goes for subs. And yeah, I mean, it's a hard one to get a read on. I don't fault that guy taking a dog shot on Billy, right? I guess, I do rate athleticism and explosiveness a lot, especially in dogs. If I knew that he could KO this guy, then yeah, it would be a big play for me too. It's just I don't know how much. I see a lot of people saying from strawweight up to flyweight, it's not a big difference. Blah blah blah, this and that. But I mean, it makes a big difference. Whenever you move up in the weight class, maybe Brandon can confirm. It's better. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going back and forth. I kind of like the favorite, being more technical and whatnot, and I also kind of like the dog because he seems volatile enough that maybe you can catch him or something. But yeah, the lack of tape really doesn't give me much confidence. What about you?
Yeah, I'm surprised you're giving these Indonesian fighters more praise on their athleticism and build. I think Billy, I mean, he obviously has a path with the grappling, but I've never seen Gino's Shui. I've never seen his takedown defense tested because there's only one fight. So based off that, I mean, the fight's a pass because Billy does seem a bit harmless on the mat. I did see in some of his fights with One Pride, he went 5 rounds, got tired as the fights went on. But yeah, I mean, there's not much I like about Billy other than, I mean, Genosha is minus 180 and we don't know much about him. Maybe that's the case for Billy, but the fight's a pass, man. I don't want to put any money near this fight.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Fair enough. I mean, I have to give him. If I see athleticism, I have to do it, right? It's low level. It's kind of like women's fights. If someone's explosive, if someone's powerful, you can't just ignore it, even though he's doing it on Indonesian regional scene. Remember that last guy on the Indonesian regional scene, on the Road FC, that was just sparking everyone, the undersized guy that made it to the final and then ended up getting smashed? I forgot his name. He knocked out Kim with one punch. He was just sparking fools. And he had a spinning back fist KO as well. I think Jaka was his name.
Yeah, Jaka Saragi.
Yeah, it's just you can't. If they're athletic, man, it goes a long way on these low level. And I'm just kind of looking for dogs. And if the dog is more explosive, athletic, might be enough. And the other guy, Junoshu, it just seems like a wet blanket. Something it could be damage over control. But yeah, just have to cross my dots and T's, man. But yeah, it's a pass fight. Pass fight for me. Alrighty, this one's interesting. Do you want to take this one? Kuya Kanda versus another man with one name, Yugu Geli.
Here, you should go first because it's about to be 11 o'clock, so my gym's going to make an announcement that it's closing in an hour. There we go.
Perfect. Good timing, mate. Good timing. All right. So, Yugu Geli, this is a fight of two strikers, two southpaw strikers. Yugu Geli, Chinese dude. I think he's a champion in this promotion, JCK, which is on Fight Pass. It would have to be. Yeah, he's a champion. For the lightweight, I think he's moving down. Yeah, he's moving down to featherweight. He's a technical striker. He's got good footwork. He can fight on the back foot. He counters. He's a little bit too patient for me. I've seen him sparked by a Russian dude, but it's for some reason it's not on his topology. I'm looking at it now. Oh, there we go. 2020. Yeah, he got sparked in 1 minute. Had a bunch of losses there. Lost to Charlene and Becky twice by KO. Might have some issues with the chin there. But yeah, technical striker. And then his opponent, Koya Kanda, Japanese dude. Also a featherweight, also a strawweight. This guy fought, his last loss was a 5-round title fight to Junturo Ushuki, who was an ex. It wasn't a title fight. I think it was a featherweight fight. That went to decision to split. So Junturo is actually an ex-Ryzen champ. He just lost to Kai Asakura, I'm pretty sure. Or the other Asakura. I always mix him up. But yeah, had a close fight. And then, I watched 3 other fights. And, just another technical guy. He seems to be a little bit more explosive than Yugu Geli. More explosive. I've seen him get cracked. He goes for takedowns. Yeah, this one seemed like a close technical striking fight where both guys can crack each other. So I was a little bit surprised by the line. I would have made Kanda the slight favorite just because he's the younger fighter by about 6 years. And, the high level of competition, fighting with the Ryzen champ and mostly Ryzen and deep promotion. But yeah, Yugu Geli, moving down, and he's a decent striker in his own right. Yeah, I think he's a decent underdog. Let me see. Yeah. He was a slight underdog, but I think it's even more of an underdog now. So it's a dog or pass for me, but I mean, again, what can I do here? What about you?
Yeah, I wanted to play Kondo when I saw him at minus 105, but I didn't get to taping it. And by the time I taped it, he got steamed to minus 205. Yeah, I kind of agree that line's getting a bit out of hand. Only reason I would make him a favorite is just because Yuba Gili, his output is very low. And it's like, I would say Kondo maybe has the grappling upside in this fight, but I wouldn't count on it. I just kind of expect a low volume, kind of like thin margins decision. So I don't hate you for a dog shot on that, but I feel like Condit should be the favorite just based off like athleticism and the grappling upside he presents.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I would make him a favorite too, but yeah, the line's crazy, man. I didn't actually realize it was past minus 200. This is probably the one I'll look into a little bit because I've seen Kanda hurt as well after his Ashuki loss. I've seen him wobble by this 9-4 Jin dude. So anything's possible, man. Anything's possible. All right, Sumit Kumar, Songguk Choi. Songguk Choi just had a chance to go on the UFC. I swear he was up 2-0 against Park in a finale, and got caught in the rear naked choke. No shame in that. Park's pretty decent. I'd say he's UFC level. And I was coming back and he's fighting Sumit Kumar, who Kumar seems decent, but oh man, he's fighting. I don't want to even say warm bodies. He's fighting cold bodies over there in India. They're just dudes that look like they have the physique of Brendan Olivas, and he's just throwing him around, like picking him up, slamming him, knocking him out, like just taking the piss. And he's got 3 exclamation marks, as in flagged on Topology as potential legitimacy, flagged as a dodgy fight. Pretty much all his fights that you watch look dodgy. But he looks jacked. He looks like I think he's training at Tiger Muay Thai. Maybe you can confirm with me. So who knows? Maybe he's got the goods. Choi is not the best. He kind of skirts on the outside a lot. He calf kicks. Usually goes to decision. He's got some power, but who knows, man? Who knows? I guess it could be a parlay piece, but I've seen worse Indian fighters than Kumar. Who knows? I haven't seen any adversity from him. So what do you reckon?
Yeah, well, you say you've seen worse Indian fighters than Kumar. We're going to see one of them later this weekend as well. But I feel like Anshul Jubli provided a false sense of hope for these Indian regional fighters. And I mean, Sumit Kumar, I think he's from the U.S., but he did move out to he is training at, I believe, Tiger Muay Thai. But he does not look good at all, man. I mean, he goes for like that. Oh, my God.
Yep, can't disagree there. He doesn't look good at all. We'll just wait.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. It's either the gym or okay, yeah, but I'll continue. So Kumar, he goes for like that fireman's carry. And I mean, he's fighting low level dudes. I did see in his last fight, he kicked one of the dudes in the head, and the dude still somehow continued and he found the finish. But yeah, I mean, minus 450, Songguk Choi. I mean, when does he really cover minus 450? That's the real question. But it's hard not to really side with Choi because it's like, how would a Kumar win? Does he hit takedowns? Because that's what I see him do in a lot of his fights. I mean, striking in that one fight that I don't know the dude's name, his last one, his striking looked very sloppy. So maybe when Guk Choi gets to win, we can get Sumat Kumar to fight Brandon Olivas for the Cage Series title in Phoenix, Arizona. So maybe that's the fight to make after this one.
Kumar wins via powerbomb. I don't know. He sounds like you haven't watched tape, mate. He's just going to pick him up and powerbomb him like all his other wins. He's going to boot him in the face as well on the way down. He's going to get DQ'd. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree with everything, man. Kumar could be good. Choi doesn't really cover. When he can cover this line, probably when they give him an Indian regional fighter. But yeah, let's move on. Let's move on to the main event. This is a really high level fight, man, for Road to FC. Kylan Lee versus Kai Lu. Kai Lu's coming back. They gave him a lead that won the whole thing, and he got sparked in 42 seconds. He sparked Anga Hings with ground and pound. He's a physical dude. Hits hard. He goes for his own takedowns. He's got a nice back piece. I like his tattoo. It's a bit out there. And yeah, he just goes for takedowns, but his jiu-jitsu doesn't seem the greatest. There was one guy, I think it was this Conmon Dare dude. He was taking him down, but then Dare was taking him down and taking his back. So it's like, why are you taking the guy down? And if you have bad jiu-jitsu, because every time he took him down, he got reversed and put himself in a bad situation. But yeah, he's got power. Kevin Lee, he's training an alpha male, the underdog, 10-5. Decent fighter. He's got a lot of power. This guy sparked a lot of fools. His whole career is essentially in ONE FC, bar like 3 fights at the start. Fought De Andrade, who's an animal. You know, he's I think he's a champion in ONE FC now. Got knocked out by him. No shame in that. Other than that, he's just knocked out everyone. Irusha, 11-5. He knocks him out in round 1. He knocks him out in round 5. He took a long layoff 2019 before fighting Andrade, and then after losing to Andrade, took another long layoff. So the guy's only 27. Surely he's improving. You know, his losses are, you know, to Martin Nuligen, 5-1, who's a ONE FC champion as well, and an illegal strike to Ahmed Mujtaba, who got heel hooked by old mate. I forgot his name now. Sage Northcutt, which is pretty embarrassing. So yeah, this feels like a volatile fight, man. You know, Lee, his kill or be killed, has been knocked out every time he loses, a retirement, and he's got, you know, he cracks for days. And I've seen Kai Lu knocked out by Lee in 42 seconds, and he also cracks. So it's like Lee's a minus 200 now in a volatile striking fight. I guess I do favor him. He does seem to have more talent from the tape, but he's just, you know, low level Road FC Asian fight with two guys that are going to bang. I probably just played the under at juice. I mean, it was close to minus 200 before. I don't know what it is now. I haven't really looked into it. But yeah, that's my take. What about you?
Yeah, I was actually before I give my breakdown, someone did mention we have an Olympian on this card. So Sumit Kumar was an Olympian. Can you guess what he was an Olympian in?
It would have to be wrestling or shot put, I would say.
Hockey.
Oh, nice. They play hockey in India? Jesus.
I didn't even know that till today either, man. But that's hilarious.
That's like in Serbia, man. When you're if you go to Serbia, anyone can be like a world class rugby player. For example, I met some people that play rugby for Serbia national team, and I was like, "You play rugby for the Serbian national team?" And they're like, "Yeah, we went to the World Cup." And it's just like, it's so easy. I bet like anyone can just play hockey in India, man. If there's like 10 people that want to play, and they just all let him play. Yeah, you guys can play for the Olympic team. Why not? Jump in. Come to the training session and we'll chuck you in the team.
Where do they even practice hockey? That's the real question.
Yeah. Who knows?
Okay, no, but I'll continue. So I do agree with your angle. I was actually hoping we would get an over-under, but it doesn't seem like we might not get those. But fight doesn't go to decision for this fight. Seems kind of like the obvious play. It's only like minus 250. So I was actually thinking about parlaying that with Spot later on, or maybe like Klamako or somebody. But yeah, it's a volatile fight. I mean, you see Kai Lu, he got knocked out real bad in his last fight. Was it against Lee?
It
was the dude that won the whole thing against
Lee. He's like a truck there. He's just. Have you seen him rocked in any of the other tape? I only watched like 4 fights. I don't want to go too deep.
I wouldn't say he was necessarily rocked, but against like the Saudabusi looking dude, he was kind of getting banged up with knees in the clinch. But I feel like even if you haven't seen him get rocked, I mean, Kai Wen Lee hits like a truck, and he's going to come for the kill. Like, the dude throws crazy power hooks in the first round. So I'm kind of expecting both these guys to kind of just stand their ground and just trade in the pocket. I mean, I saw a clip on IG earlier this week. These dudes were going at it at the PI this week. They were throwing water bottles at each other. So maybe that's a good narrative for the fight doesn't go to decision at minus 250. It's not the worst line.
It's crazy, man. They're both Chinese, but they both look like rebel Chinese dudes, like with tattoos and shit.
Yeah, I will say I do think Kai Wen Lee gets some training in at Alpha Male, so he's training with good guys. I don't know how much better he's going to look after the 1.5 year layoff, but he's definitely the rightful favorite. It's just the only reason I don't want to lay the juice is because Kai Lu could maybe have a grappling path, or even maybe, I wouldn't say a cardio path. It's just that like Kai Wen Lee fights so reckless to the point where it's like, I mean, we did see him get a 3rd round knockout in one of his fights, but he took the 2nd round off in that fight. So I feel like it's just a volatile fight. So I'm not really dying to pick a side on this one, except maybe the under. Yeah,
I heard that Lee might have a wrestling background too. I don't know if you heard about that. Plus, obviously, he trains at Alpha Male. The few takedowns that he went for, he got him pretty easy. But yeah, maybe I just lay the juice on the under, man. Lee doesn't have one decision win in his career. So, and if he's going to slow down like in his most of his other fights, maybe Lou can crack him too. But yeah, let's move on. Let's go to the other card. Brendan will leave us. BigSteve, let's link in Serbia. Yeah, why not, mate? If you want, I'll be there from the 5th of June till halfway through August, and I'll be in Croatia and Malta as well. So, if you want me to show you around, I'll show you around. I'll show you some sexy 10 out of 10s that don't care about height. As long as you got money, you'll have a good time in Serbia. All right, let's switch it around. Share this tab instead. Oh shit! What do we got? Chris Hoffman, Sang-Hoon Yu. Speaking of fights that are hard to get a read on, man. Look, I lean. I taped this fight in my car on the way to training. I lean Chris Hoffman, right? The guy seems to have power. He's fought a really low level of competition. Sang-Hoon Yu lost to Slippery Pete, which is a red flag. A proper decision to Slippery Pete, 29-28. And then he was, knocked out by Fiallo. And then he fought upper class middleweight against a really fat dude who's a veteran. I'll give him that. He's fought the who's who, and he got dropped there, had a lot of adversity, and he ended up knocking him out, and he's dropping back down to welterweight again. I think Hoffman can knock him out. I know Hoffman was a slight dog, and then he went to pick him. I would still play him. I don't know what the line is now. I'm only looking on Bet365, and I don't have it there, so maybe you can tell me. But yeah, I'll lean Hoffman just because I think he's the better fighter, even though he hasn't fought anyone. What about you?
Yeah, I actually got a very early number on Hoffman for one unit at plus 275. Crazy opener, but it's down to pick him now. I'm honestly a little surprised. He was almost like a slight favorite at one point. It's really a tough fight to get a read on because you got Yu who hasn't fought in how long is it? I want to say it's been like 2 years. Yeah, it's been over almost. It's like 1.5 years. But I mean, it's two Muay Thai strikers going at it. At this price, it's kind of like you're buying into the unknown with whatever side you pick. But yeah, seeing Yu get dropped by Fiallo, seeing him get dropped twice by that fat dude his last fight, it's not a good look. And I mean, Hoffman, he has a wrestling background. Well, I wouldn't say it's a good wrestling background, but he represents the Philippines. I don't know exactly to what extent, but he was on their national wrestling team. And I did see Hoffman. He used to fight at 185. I think he used to fight at 205 as well. He's slimmed down and took his training camp seriously. So Yu used to fight at 155, and they're kind of meeting in the middle at 170. So I feel like Hoffman should just be the favorite just because he fought like 2 months ago, and he's been way more active. But, yeah, the close fight. I'll lean Hoffman just because he seems like he hits harder and probably has – I mean, we've seen Yu drop, so he probably has the finishing upside here.
Yeah, man, to keep it simple, like you said, he's been a light heavyweight. Yu's been a lightweight. He gets dropped a lot, takes a lot of time off. Yeah, I just have this feeling. It could be my first play. Could be my first play, boys. Brandon, get excited, mate. First play. Lou Betcher, thank you for listening, mate. Just it's good to change the mean of the age in this chat. Brandon will leave us at 16, just dropping it really low, and then got Lou at 55, evening it up a little bit. Alrighty. Brandon, leave us one more time. I was supposed to go Croatia in June. Yeah, too early for me, mate. I'll be there in July. Alrighty. Long Zhao Shohei Nose. I'm just going to pretend that's how you pronounce it. Nose. Yeah, this dude, Long Zhao, could only find 2 fights. First fight was years and years ago in AFC Australian promotion. He wrestled with Chris Vase, who's an Australian bum. They went back and forth. And then nothing until he fought on Contender Series against Christian Quinones. That was kind of competitive, He dropped Quinones in rounds 2, and then, Quinones essentially stole every single round by just dropping and rocking him. And Quinones is a decent, striker. He's improving as well himself. I used to think he was crap, but I see improvements from fight to fight. Other than that, yeah, he seems durable. He seems well-rounded. He's got wrestling. He can throw hands. I can't believe this dude's 25 years old. His record is 24-7. He's been all around the world. And he's fighting, Shohei Nose, who's also 25 years old, but he's only 10-3-2. And yet, knows knows a lot about fighting. It seems. Just a weird. He's had 2 fights in road to UFC, and just a weird career, man. He got Waluigi Burin did his knee in 1 minute against him, and then Rinya Nakamura sparked him in 2 minutes. And he actually hurt Nakamura. Didn't hurt, but he made Nakamura back up. He's a scrappy kid. He's a southpaw. He doesn't mind throwing. So he put up a fight in there, and then I had to tape a lot of his other fights just to see what this kid's actually, what's his MO. I watched his kickboxing fights, which didn't tell me much. He got knocked out in one and knocked the person out in the other. And then I watched more of his regionals, and he can be taken down easy, and then even more of his regionals. And then I realized, okay, he's actually a jiu-jitsu dude. He's got a lot of subs. He's got neck scissors, chicken wing armbar locks and stuff like that. Yeah, he's a scrappy kid. It's still kind of hard to get a read on him, right? And hard to get a read on this fight. I picked this fight to maybe be quite close, maybe with Long Zhao to be a slight favorite. Just due to the experience, the Contender Series experience, and having a much better record, etc., etc. Not the most technical breakdown, but yeah, just not much tape. He hasn't really been submitted much, so I don't know if Nose can, just play the guard game or the jiu-jitsu game. But I think his striking is improving. I think on the feet he can be competitive either way. So yeah, I'm not rushing to play, Long Zhao as a slight dog favorite. I think it's maybe lined accurately. What do you reckon?
So I was actually looking at Nose when he was an underdog earlier this week, but didn't pull the trigger, and now the line's flipped on me. He's minus 150 right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the fight's a pass, honestly. As much as I wanted to play Nose, it's like I'm having trouble getting a read on who Long Zhao is as a fighter. It's worth noting. So the UFC PI in Shanghai does like a combine every now and then. And they did a combine back in March where they had like 30 fighters, and they ranked them all based on like what level they would be, like prospect, contender level, or training partner level. They had Zhao Long all the way at the bottom. So I don't know what exactly that's supposed to mean, but that's enough for me to not even consider betting him. But essentially with Zhao Long, I mean, against Quinones just put the volume on him and was just able to just outstrike him, just because Zhao Long, he doesn't know how to really cut angles on the feet. He's kind of just marches forward and is a heavy bag. And I'm not really in the business of betting people that are punching bags. Yeah, I mean, Nose could have the grappling edge, but maybe wait for the face-offs, because I don't know how much bigger Zhao Long's going to be. I get the vibe from Nose that he's a bit undersized for the division.
Yeah, he does seem like a bit of a unathletic kid. But yeah, he's scrappy. I'll give him that. Yeah, and I agree. I'm surprised he's the favorite now. Maybe because he wobbled Nakamura a couple of times, but who knows? Yeah, I do agree. It's a pass fight. Surprise, it's my favorite thing to say. But yeah, I'm in a good spot. Don't really feel like forcing, anything really on this weekend, even without UFC. I'm slowly taping LFA, slowly taping these fights still. There'll be plays. 1 or 2 plays is all I need to profit. Kurt Kotowski, welcome, mate. I'm going to break my no betting on Asians rule this weekend. Come on, mate. If you don't bet on Asians, you miss out on a lot of profit. And I love my Asians. So do I. Tell me what you're betting by the end of the podcast. Lola Russo. Is this a girl? This might be the first time there was a girl in this chat ever. Top Night Kibram is the best. Yeah, I have to disagree there. Sorry. Misha the Punk. Like the videos. Agree. Good night, Steve. Hope to see you soon. You will see me soon, mate, in July. Alrighty. Next fight. Kazuma Maruyama versus Sang-Uk Kim. Yeah, another interesting one. Honestly, Kazuma seems really crap, man. Maybe you can confirm this for me. I thought he was some young dude. And then when I finished tape, I saw that he was 30 years of age. He has a really salty record. He's lost to decent dudes, I guess. I've seen him sparked. No, I'll take that back. He hasn't lost to decent dudes. He's been sparked by a 16-16 guy in Pancrase with 1 punch. He lost to Adam Asenzo in his last. That's a decent guy on the regionals, BTC. Other than that, really low level competition. He's losing splits. I don't really know what he's good at. He seems to be a striker. Maybe you can confirm. But yeah, I thought he was a really young and athletic dude, but he's 30 years of age. And yeah, I understand why Kim is such a big favorite. Sang-Uk Kim, I've got it in my notes. He's a wrestler. He's bold. Make of that what you will. And he's moving down in weight. So he was usually a welterweight, and he's coming down to lightweight. So he's obviously going to be a lot more physical. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I don't know if I want to play Kim as a massive favorite. He doesn't strike me as a guy that might be a parlay piece. from the 3-4 fights that I taped with him. He's got some split decisions, but everyone he's lost to, I looked at all of them. Ho Taiko, Jae Hwan Park, they're all got really good records now. So yeah, I mean Kazuma seems crap, Kim seems good, but it's quite juiced. I don't play juice on Road to FC. What about you, mate?
Yeah, so I was not impressed by Kazuma at all. Honestly, I'm a bit surprised that he even got signed to this tournament. I don't really know what they saw in him. The dude's getting taken down on the regional scene by low-level dudes. And, I mean, Kim, he is a big favorite, but I feel like it's justifiably so just because he consistently goes for takedowns, whether you think his opponents on the Vietnamese regional scene are good. I see that he has a process to his game, and Kazuma, I don't even know what he's good at. He's kind of just good at being a warm body. So I wanted to play the submission prop for Kim, but seems it got steamed from plus 700 to plus 375 now. So there's probably no value on that. But yeah, it's favorite or pass here. Don't want to bet Kazuma as a dog.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. The only thing is, I've seen his one win. He was just getting taken down and just kind of knocked the guy out from just constantly getting up and voluming him up. But yeah, I don't know if that would happen here, man. I don't know if that would happen here. Let's move on. All right. Shunya Kumabuku, Baijon Jaleosu. Yeah, I mean, I'll take this one again because I don't know if we're going to be talking much about it. Another massive favorite, Kamabuku. He seems to be a grinder, a wrestler, a decent jiu-jitsu, good back taker. And I can only find one fight on his Chinese opponent, Baragenk, and he jumped into a triangle choke and got choked out. Oh, that's his debut. So that's where I'm at. And really low level, again, WLF. He's lost to anyone decent. Lima, Zaitang, and his debut. And then the rest is just 0-0, 3-0, 0-0, 0-1. Pretty standard for Chinese regional scene. So what can I say here? Don't want to talk too much about it.
Yeah, I actually do have a little bit to talk about here. So I was scavenging through Chinese TikTok, and I was able to find a couple of Gialesi's fights, and I actually did play him for 1.5 units at plus 255. So I found out his background. He's a 3-time national wrestling champion in China. Whether, I don't know what tournaments or what level he was wrestling at, but on the UFC PI's Instagram, they posted a little video about him. And he's been training at the PI in Shanghai for 4 years now. And he scored pretty well in the combine as well, so that's worth noting. But I think he's a really good wrestler, man. And you got a wrestler versus wrestler here. And I wonder, like, what does Kamakubo look like if he's not hitting takedowns or he's forced to stay on the feet? And Gialesi was also talking about how he used to fight at 66 kilograms, so for wrestling. So I think he might be the bigger party here. And I'm willing to buy into the unknown here at plus 255. I mean, his lines came down a little bit. He's plus 215 now. So maybe not as appetizing, but the fact that there's a lot of unknowns and people aren't really digging into the fights that I saw, I do like the kid's grappling. So as long as he can keep Kamakubo off his back, I feel like he's live to pull off the upset here. It's probably one of my favorite dogs for the weekend, honestly.
Very nice, man. Very nice. Like I said, I'll definitely be looking into some of these fights again when I have time to actually, do the scouring and on TikTok. Are you just using Japanese TikTok? Do you use Youku and Billy Beam, the Chinese YouTubes, as it
So I didn't use Youku, but I was on Billy B or whatever the hell you call it. But yeah, I was able to find his name. I think I might have saved the video, so I could maybe send it to you. But yeah, I mean, the fact that the UFC PI is promoting him, I mean, he's got Dean Ammensinger in his corner, so I feel like they like this kid. And plus 255, I'm willing to find out if this kid's a fraud or not.
Yeah, man. I'll go in detail, and then if that's your favorite play, I mean, it doesn't really mean much, but if it is, I'll look into it for you. And then, maybe I'll join you. We'll see. Alrighty, main event. You want to take this one away? Zhu Rong versus Song Chang Hong.
Yeah, I was looking at every reason to play the dog here. I mean, you look at Zhu Rong. Well, most of us are familiar with him because he was in the UFC for a little bit. Didn't fan out so well for him. I remember I back when I first started gambling, I parlayed him in almost every single one of my parlays as a degenerate when I went to the live events in Jacksonville during COVID. And I said to myself, I'm never betting Rong Zhu ever again because this guy cannot grapple. I mean, I watched the fight back. We saw Rong Zhu. He was looking at his corner. It looked like he had no idea what he was doing in the grappling realm. And my issue with laying the chalk on Rong Zhu is that his opponent here in Chen Hong, he's a grappler. He's persistent to look for takedowns. And if I believe this is the Korean that's poised with the Iron Turtle, I might be wrong, but I'm almost positive it's Hong. And at this price, I mean, maybe get contrarian and look to play the fight goes to decision here. As if Hong's getting off on like some cage pushing and maybe some takedowns and he's not getting knocked out, I feel like he has a chance to maybe pull off the upset in a close decision. But I mean, Rong Zhu is definitely the A side here. I just can't lay minus 550 on Rong Zhu at this point.
Yeah, man, I was exactly the same. I don't know if you found more than one fight. That's all I wanted to do before coming on the pod, just to get an idea. But yeah, I was same as you, man. It was like, all right, I know what Rong is all about. I watched his last fight in UAE Warriors. He fought a jiu-jitsu guy. I actually do think he's a decent wrestler himself. I mean, we've seen him wrestle offensively before. He stuffed all the takedowns from that jiu-jitsu dude and knocked him out. Yeah, Hong is he's relentless, but he's a bit of a grinding, decision merchant. So it's like, can he do it for 3 rounds and not get knocked out by Rong? Most likely, I like what you said. If that's the case, then I'd rather just play go the distance. And then if Rong wins a decision as well, then you win that bet too. So yeah, I don't mind that. Don't mind that at all. Like I said, I haven't looked into any props, so I was hoping that I can go back and forth with you, which is good, other than just me doing it by myself.
Yeah, it's actually like plus 240 on goes to decision, so very juicy line. But I mean, I wouldn't say Hong's really shown any bad durability, so not the worst angle to have, especially since Zhu Rong's minus 550 and there's not really a money line play in this fight.
Yeah, he's been knocked out in 2013 in round 3, but I mean, yeah, that doesn't really tell you much.
I guess my only concern with the Korean dude is I think it's like a 13 month layoff for him. So I don't know what he's going to be operating at, but yeah.
I don't mind that.
He's had a good gym. So, I mean, I think it's Korean top team, if I'm correct. So he's probably training with some good guys out there. So maybe honestly, long shot play Hong by decision. I think it's like plus 550 or something. Maybe throw like some lunch money on that.
Yeah, I mean it's either that or pass because can't play wrong. Alrighty, let's move on. Just under an hour, not too bad. Let's see if we can smash this card nice and quick. Alrighty, what do we got? Sim Kai Zhong, Peter Doneso. This one right here, man, this is a high-level fight in my opinion. Peter's a really good Muay Thai striker. Good knees, good elbows. I only watched 3 of his fights to get an idea, and I said, oh, this kid's going to be the favorite. And then I watched Sim Kai Zhong, the Chinese dude, and I'm like, damn, this kid's good too. This is a high-level fight. But he's got a lot more subs, and I'm a little bit surprised that Peter is such a big underdog. I wouldn't mind a little stab on him. There might be a bit of a ground disparity here, but this one's got my attention. I got to look into it some more. But yeah, what do you reckon on this one? I'm leaning the Thai dog.
So I need to look into this more, but I did my due diligence. But hearing you talk about how you want to bet him, I did degenerately parlay Sim Kai with some guys earlier in the week, but I did not like the grappling I saw from Peter. He's getting taken down by, I believe, like 0-1 dudes, like multiple times. And did you end up watching Sim Kai's fight versus Cheng Ho Lee?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so Cheng Ho Lee's on this card, and they fought on Brave. I think that was his last fight, actually. Sim Kai, but Sim Kai was hitting a lot of takedowns in that fight. He did slow down in the third a little bit, but he was hitting a lot of takedowns, finding some back takes. And I did like what the grappling I saw from him, and I really haven't seen any good grappling from Peter. So it's like Sim Kai didn't even bother to like strike with Holy. He just went straight for the takedowns. And if he's going to do that against Peter, hard not to think he gets a submission here, or is just able to rack up control time. But I do agree, Peter's at Tiger Muay Thai, I believe. or no, Bangtao. Sorry, he's at Bangtao. I think
Hmm.
Simkai might be at Tiger Muay Thai, but he's at Bangtao. I mean, he's got good Muay Thai, but it's like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good of a striker he is if he's on the mat.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously the line is obviously massively in his favor because of the ground game. I can't see any other reason. And it's just like, do you want to take a stab? It's kind of like the Top Noi. Top Noi, he's bad takedown defense, but he can still win fights. So yeah, it's just I have to look into it. I thought it was a high level fight between two young dudes. Yeah, I didn't realize he fought Chang Ho Lee. Yeah, I taped Chang Ho Lee because he told me to, because he's fighting a really high level Indian later on. Alrighty. This is speaking of fights that you made me tape. Eparam, Ginting, Demisi, Zawupasi. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I taped this because you told me there might be some, potential in parlaying these favorites. I couldn't get a read. Another Indonesian guy that's just very scrambly, and I could only find one fight of Deramisi, and you sent me more, or you told me to go on his Instagram, but I just didn't have time, man. Like at the start, I do my little due diligence. I don't go, very very deep. I will come back and do, a deeper take. But yeah, I don't know. He seems, just wiki capping, and Deramisi seems like the better fighter. But yeah, nothing I really like here. I'll look into it more extensively. This is the last fight on the card. I've got more than 2 days to come back to this card. So yeah, don't have anything strong here, man.
Yeah, so I was actually able to find more than his one fight. I think it was on Billy as well. I can try to find the fight for you, but I was able to find actually like 2 or 3 more of his fights. And speaking of the combine again, Diarmisi actually scored number 2 in the combine behind Yiza. So that's good to see. Kid's very young. He's making a lot of improvements, and I really like this kid's grappling. I think he flows very well on top. He's relentless with his takedowns. And Ginting, I mean, what is he? He's a grappler as well. And I've seen Zawapasi, like, I don't know if I've seen him on his back, but I just see when you watch him fight on the mat, you can just tell he knows what he's doing. And on the feet, I mean, I think it's kind of a wash, but Zawapasi, he's at the UFC PI as well. He's training there full time. I think there's an edge here because not an edge in this fight, but an edge in the guys at UFC PI because they were doing fight simulations earlier in the week because the event's being held at the same place that they train at. So I feel like there's an edge in betting these UFC PI guys. And I think Zawupasi is probably going to win the whole tournament based on the extra fights that I've seen off the tape index. I like this kid a lot, honestly. I feel like minus 400 might be steep for some considering they maybe aren't able to find some of his fights. But I did also play his submission prop at minus 115. I don't know what it is right now. I think it's like minus 140. But even his ITD at minus 190 is actually not a bad play, in my opinion. But yeah, I think Daramisi rolls here. Expect him to make it to the finals for the road to the UFC, and I think he finds a quick submission here.
Nice, man. Big call. Back in your boy. Yeah, like I said, I'm excited to dig into the more tape, man. That's where the edge is, scouring the internet. And usually, like I always, whenever I crap on tape index, it's because I can actually find the tape myself. So, yeah, looking forward to it, man. I'll dig deep into that one as well. And good luck on your plays. Alrighty, now this one here. This is the one fight that I mentioned that I didn't do a lick of tape. Other than the fact that I didn't realize that I taped Shin Haraguchi because he was the guy that beat Kim in his last fight. So yeah, he's got a gold medal. Maybe you can fill me in on his topology. Definitely, you don't have to fill me in. I just saw his other topology picture where he's in the wrestling stance, so I definitely assume that's from wrestling. But yeah, and I know nothing about this Windy, the bad boy Palatima dude. One thing that pees me off, a lot of Indonesians, there's only 2 Thai guys. I don't know why more Thai guys are not on the card. Maybe they're not interested. Maybe they're doing too much Muay Thai. Who knows? But yeah, I understand why this Shin guy's a massive favorite. He's obviously 5-0. He's got a bit of big wrestling advantage, etc., etc. Beat some good guys already. But I can't add anything, man, so I'll let you take away.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is honestly probably the one show from out of the road to UFC that has the best parlay pieces. I think Shin Haraguchi is an amazing parlay piece as well. He's a Japanese national team wrestler. He won the Emperor's Cup in wrestling. Don't ask me what that tournament is. I just know he won it. But, I mean, this kid's wrestling's high level, man. We saw him fight Kim from earlier, the dude that's fighting Sasu. It was 10-minute rounds. and he was able to hit constant takedowns. I mean, Kim did a good job working up, but Haraguchi was just able to continuously take him down. Didn't look like he got tired at all. Kid's got a nice ground and pound as well. It's hard not to see him just hit a quick takedown on Padalima. I mean, Padalima is a grappler himself. He kind of reminds me of Ginting, kind of just a shitty grappler that's just fighting dudes that can't stuff a takedown to save their life. But yeah, it's hard. If this fight plays out on the mat, it's hard not to think Haraguchi's going to find the finish here. I don't know what the submission prop is. I can check real quick. I saw it at plus 900 earlier today. It's down to plus 700. Looks like somebody hit it. But if Haraguchi is going to be hitting takedowns to win this fight, I know he normally doesn't go for submissions. He goes for ground and pound. Could be a sneaky submission play just because the fight's going to play out on the mat and maybe Padalima gives up the back. But like I said, haven't seen Haraguchi hit any submissions or really look for them. But yeah, this kid's a massive parlay piece at minus 400.
Nice, dude. That's what I like to hear about parlay pieces. If at the moment, I think I'm going to have a few as well. Speaking of parlay pieces, Chung Ho Lee, R Singh. This is the other one you told me to tape as a potential parlay piece with your boy Jeremy C. Yeah, I can't disagree. Now that I've taped all 4 cards, I can honestly say that Singh might be the worst guy out of the whole 20 fighters. Yeah, he's not really doing the Indian dudes any justice. But then again, it's not his fault. UFC are the one that are bringing him on here on the stage. His last fight was a welterweight. He looked fat as all hell, and now he's dropping down to bantamweight. When I watch his fights at bantamweight, he is ripped. He's looking good, but yeah, he's had some really low level of competition. He trains out of yoga MMA. What's he doing, brother? Is he doing MMA or is he doing yoga? Because if he's training yoga, it would explain why he fights like the way he fights. And he also fought at yoga MMA. So there's fighting in the same promotion he's training at. So yeah, big red flags. Yeah, not much I can say here, man. His one loss when he finally took a step up in Brave, that was probably too much of a step up against Ali Guliev. He just looked lost. He wants to take down. I could only find one fight of Cheng Ho Lee. Again, I didn't look much into it. That's all I needed. I can probably find that Sing Kai Zhong fight on Brave FC. I assume it's on YouTube or Brave. I just didn't do my proper searching until it's time. But yeah, that's all I needed to see to assume that this guy is probably a parlay piece. This Indian dude, from what I've seen from his skill set, I don't think he can't even catch. If I'm avoiding parlays, like juiced parlays, it's because the underdog maybe has a puncher's chance. I don't think this Indian dude even has a puncher's chance. So yeah, I would be happy to parlay this dude. Look into it some more and then parlay it. But I think you feel the same way.
Yeah, man. I've honestly feel bad for Rana Singh. I mean, looking at his Instagram, it looks like this is a big career opportunity for him. He's posting a lot of content on his IG about how he's going for the road to UFC fights, and I can't help but think it's going to go really, really bad for him. I mean, you can just watch this Aliev fight. I think it was for UAE Warriors or Brave, one of the two. I saw a clip actually today because Narco Cop brought it up. He pushed the Aliev guy at the weigh-ins. He pushed him, and then the fight started, and he got hit once with a punch, and he just looked scared. He, folded, and, I mean, the Aliev dude kneed him with an illegal knee. I'm surprised Singh even wanted to continue after that, but the fact that he just looks so uncomfortable to strike when his takedowns wouldn't work is a really alarming thing for me. And then, I mean, even on some of his Indian regional scene fights, he's getting taken down by a lot of these guys, and he's able to hit some guard subs. He hit a guillotine that looked like he was holding on to the dude's neck for dear life, and the dude tapped, where I've seen Ho Lee in a guillotine, and he did the right stuff to get out. And he also, Singh hit a triangle choke as well after getting slammed to the mat. So it's not even like he's getting his submissions by his takedowns. He's getting taken down himself and hitting some meme guard subs. So Ho Lee, I mean, he grappled a lot with Sim Kai, and Sim Kai tried to take his back, but Ho Lee did a great job defending that. And I forget who it was, but the Brazilian dude he fought as well. He did a good job at defending the back takes and hitting switches to reverse position. But if I'm Ho Lee, because he does go for takedowns himself, so I guess I could be a bit worrying if Singh were to jump on a guillotine. But I mean, if he hits a guillotine, so be it. At minus 350, I feel like Ho Lee is getting the worst dude in the tournament, and it's hard not to want to throw a massive parlay on him because Singh, feel bad for the guy, man. I don't think he should be here, and I think he might get embarrassed this weekend.
Yeah, don't feel bad for him, bro. He's a 11-1 professional fighter that's getting paid by the UFC to lose in one round. So, and he's going to be on TV. So,
Hey, he's got like 20,000 Instagram followers, so they're all probably like convinced because Anshul Jubilee is representing India in the UFC, so we're bound to have another dude, and they got Rana Singh to represent his people. I don't
dude,
know if that's the right guy.
that's actually horrible, man. Considering he's from India and they've got like billions of people, that's really sounds like he doesn't even have that many Indian followers in his own hometown. But honestly, now after like being on this is probably going to get him a lot of followers, man. Yeah, don't feel bad for him, right? He can probably open up a gym or something in India.
Yeah, maybe he can take some fights at Yoga MMA, pad up that record a little bit, and maybe we'll see him next year.
Yeah. Well, he's got a better record than Brandon Oliva, so it's not bad. All right, main event, dude. So because you're a special guest, I'll let you have this main event as well. One Binky versus Bakhatolobe Barobalati.
Yeah, so this fight's interesting for me. Actually, I'll let you go first because I feel like the little timer on when the gym's going to close is going to come off in the middle of my breakdown.
I just gave you a beautiful intro. It doesn't matter. I'll take it away. Yeah, I mean, Key, not Kim, pardon me. I mean, just a bunch of Keys and Kims and Choys. Losing my mind here. Yeah, he is coming back. I mentioned he got sparked by Jekka in the last one, Indonesian dude. Yeah, he's just a very physical Korean guy, built like a great god, Korean god, shall I say. He's been knocked out a bunch of times. A lot of times, actually. Masu Banoui knocked him out. Bruno Miranda knocked him out. Two guys that hit hard. Actually, that was him. I actually remember that Bruno Miranda fight. Taped that a lot of times. Yeah, all power punches. I don't actually know what he's good at. Maybe you can tell me what Key's good at. I watched 4 of his fights. He seems to just, had some decent counters in Road to FC, and a lot of his game seems to be using physicality, pushing against the cage. When he gets on top, he just throws a lot of ground and pound. But yeah, I'm not, not too impressed by him. He looks better physically than he actually fights, in my opinion. And then, Bakhotabala, Batibolari. Yeah, another young, scrappy Chinese guy. I can't find any tape other than the last 2 LFA fights. That's all I really need to see. I've taped him a bunch of times, because I do play LFA on the regionals. Yeah, I thought he lost the Leninger fight, which is not bad. Leninger is a high enough level guy on LFA. I think Leninger himself is improving. And Harris, Harris is a bit overrated, but he's a decent guy. For LFA standards. At least these 2 are better than anyone, Keys really fought, even on Road to FC. I wanted to play the dog here. He's just, Barolati's game is kind of just like same as Longji. A bit of everything, a bit of nothing. He can go for takedowns. Doesn't seem to have much power. He's scrappy. He's durable. But is he going to put the stamp on a fight that's going to separate himself as a dog? Is his path just a close, scrappy decision where he gets a split like he did against Leninger? So yeah, it's one of those fights that I can't get the biggest read on. I got 2 fights from Babolati, high-level dudes, so I don't know how it would go. Maybe if he's fought lower-level guys, he would finish him. I still see that he's got some decisions. A split and another decision against the same opponent, which tells me who's 8-8 and 9-8, which tells me maybe he doesn't really separate himself, and the rest of the people that he finished really low level. So yeah, I don't know, man. I can't get a read on Kim, and I can't get a read on his opponent either. But it seems like a close fight where maybe a dog will pass for me. Maybe some overs, but no doubt they're going to be juiced. What do you reckon?
So the thing is here, it's unfortunate because I feel like this fight might not even happen. Batibolati has never fought at lightweight in his career. He's fought at 170 and 185, and his last fight with Ryan Leninger, he actually missed weight at 170 because he's a little chubby, but I have a feeling he's not going to make 155, but luckily there is some alternates lined up just in case people were to fall off. So on Bin Key would get another opponent. But yeah, I'm having a tough time getting a read on this fight as well. With Juan Bin Key, he is really chinny. That is a worry, but I did watch a lot, probably more fights than I needed to, but he does try to get off on his grappling. He shows some good double legs against the cage. So I guess maybe that could be a path with Batibolati. But the thing is with Bada Balate is he's training at Killcliff. He's training with solid guys, and he seems to be a jack of all trades and a master of none. He's not bad in any category. He's kind of just average at everything. Seems like he has a good idea of what's going on. But yeah, I wanted to play Ben Key, but the chin is very worrying for me. I was actually honestly looking at the fight doesn't go to decision at plus 160, just because it's a really big number. And considering that Ben Key is chinny, I wouldn't say I would think Bada Balate would get finished, but I don't know. I feel like Ben Key might bring the fight to him, and it's either he's going to get chinned or maybe Bada Balate gets chinned himself or even maybe submitted. But yeah, it's tough to really get a read on a money line side here. But let's just hope that Bada Balate makes weight for this one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not the biggest doesn't go plus 160. It's something though. I mean, if he does make lightweight, then there's a high chance that he might be chinny, cutting all that weight. But yeah, not bad, man. I told you it wouldn't be more than an hour and 20 minutes, and we're under there. I'll do my best bets like I always do, but I think this is the first time in the Big Brain MMA history that I literally don't have. Oops, I just shared around the website. That I literally don't have anything locked in. I will have bets, so what I'll do is I'll just quickly go over the cards and I'll tell you what I like and what I might lock in, and then you can, I don't know, if you're happy to give me your two best bets or a couple bets, then we can do that. And then we'll still get out of here before 120. Alrighty, so Top Noi, yeah, high five to get a read. I might look at some props. Maybe this guy by sub. I don't know. We'll see. Ray, I might fade Ray. We'll see. Nothing else I like. To dog or pass. All the props are destroyed. Jai might, maybe look at some of his finished props. Mark Lamarca, nothing there. I'll definitely be fading Sasu, so you can count that as a potential play for BigSteve. Second card, I kind of like Kim over Nurajai, but not big of a dog. Nothing on the next fight. I might fade Kanda. That's a pretty big line. We'll look at some over-unders. Kumar Choi, I'm not going to hit anything there. I don't want to force it. Main event, Kawhi Lee. Might look at some unders. Maybe Kai Lee by KO. That's probably going to be much better. I actually don't have my third card. I got out of it. I'll go on UFC. Pro to UFC. Give me a sec. The third one, I'm probably going to play Hoffman, man. I'm surprised that it's still a pick'em. I'm just a fade on who knew. I've never really been impressed by that guy. Nose Zhao pass. Murayama Kim pass. Quite juicy. Kamikubo, I'll definitely look into it just because you're on the dog and you're saying it's one of the favorites. So don't mind looking into that one. I might look into Hong some more, see if I want to fade Zhu Rong and look at some props. And then this last card, I'll look into Dennisay and Zhang some more. Both of their fights. I have to tape the Ginting fight properly on your boy, the 6-0 dude. If you can send me some of those fights, that'd be great, man. I have to look into the Shin Haraguchi fight properly. Lee is a parlay piece for me over Singh, and Babalati, again, hard to get a read. So if anything, there's a bunch of parlay pieces, fading Singh, like Hoffman. Might look at your dog. What's this other guy? The wrestling dude, Hariuchi, that I didn't tape. And fading Sasu as well. What about you, man? Hi. Good timing.
All right, so I wouldn't say I have one best bet, but I can just go over some of my bets for those of y'all that want to follow my best. Twitter's Bigbird, I think PH. I might be wrong, but who cares? I'll just say I played some Top Noi at dog odds. Wouldn't play him at this price, so I'm not gonna say that's my best bet. But best bet, I'm gonna go for dogs. I like Won Kim versus Sasu. It's a great fade on Sasu at good number. Maybe flyer on Won Kim by submission in that fight. I do like Jai Alessi here. I played him for 1.5 units at big dog odds as well, plus 255 for him. I'm seeing that he's a 3-time national wrestling champion. He's wrestled at a higher weight class than what he's fighting at. So I feel like Kamakubo, he's a solid fighter, but if he's not getting the back takes and Jai Alessi's giving him problems in the wrestling, I think it could be a close fight where the plus 255 looks like value. You said you like Hoffman as well. I played him at big dog odds. The line's trending more towards accurate, but I still don't mind to play on Hoffman as well. I think he hits harder, is more durable. And my best bet, that's not an underdog. I'm going to give you guys a parlay. It's Zawu Pasi, Ho Lee, and Haraguchi. It's about minus 102 for those three. I think that's a pretty good bet. I don't really see who ruins that parlay, but I don't know. Maybe this Ginting dude's better than I think, but honestly, maybe you just do a fade Indonesia parlay because I think all those guys go 0-4.
Yep. I feel like surely one of them has to win. At least one of them.
Maybe it's Billy. Maybe it's Billy, but the other guys, I mean, it's hard to really say that. You remember that Cage Warriors dude, Yoga, that lost? He fought in One Pride as well, so I'm kind of like got PTSD from betting Indonesians from that promotion.
Yeah, well, I was telling everyone to play that Ukrainian dude. I didn't know why he was. I can't believe the Ukrainian was a dog at one point.
Yeah, it's just that like he looked like a killer against these Indonesian guys, and then I realized most of these guys are shit.
Yeah, dude.
They look good because they're fighting bad fighters.
Yeah, the people that he was fighting. But the thing is, these Indonesian guys, they're not fighting in Cage Warriors. They're fighting other low level Asian guys. So it's a different story. It's not some Ukrainian guy fighting on the Russian regional scene in Cage Warriors. So that's the thing, you know. When you're fighting another Asian dude, you can still win. Who knows? But we'll find out, man. This is the first time I'm gambling on Road to SC, so I'll get a better read. I don't want to force anything. I'm sure we'll get another one of these down the line in the year. But yeah, thanks for sharing your bets, man. Thanks for jumping in here, making this so much more interesting. You said your Twitter it's Bigbird_PH. People wondering his
Yes,
name.
and I actually also I don't put out that much content, but every now and then I'll do regional MMA videos on YouTube. It's just Bigbird UFC. So if y'all want to hit a subscribe, I will post all the Dana White's Contender Series prediction videos for the upcoming season. That was probably my best promotion. But yeah, man, it was a pleasure to be on this podcast. Maybe we can do it again for some of the Dana White's Contender Series this upcoming summer.
Yeah, man. We'll see what kind of reception you get. And then I'd love to have you on. I watched some of your videos. You've gone head to head with me a lot of the stuff on Cage Warriors, but I was like, nah, it's fine. He knows his stuff. Yeah, thanks for coming in, man. It was a lot more fun. Thanks for supporting me on the Discord. If you want our thoughts, join the Big Brain Discord. We're all in there. We're all talking stuff. It's a sharp Discord. Other than that, good luck on your picks. Good luck to you, man. Thanks for tuning in. And I'll see you all next week when I actually go back to breaking down some UFC again. Peace out.